my name is Charlee Causey, and I'm in the 10th grade at Central High School. This is my Laws of Life essay. Family isn't defined only by last names or by blood. It's defined by commitment and by love. Dave Willis. Sometimes the people we relate to most aren't our relatives. Sometimes they're a friend. Sometimes they're a person we look up to. Rarely are they both. I had both. What started out as my grandfather's best friend soon became a mentor to my dad, to me, and to my whole family. A person looking out for us, a person who made us laugh, and a person who could be so sweet he made us cry. Most commonly known to us as Mr. Vance, the man who lived across the street became so much more than just a neighbor. It all started out with my grandparents when they purchased a cattle farm in Heard County, Georgia in 1996. The farm had everything we could ever want: cows, land, and most importantly, family. Things changed in 2013, however, when my grandfather passed away. Everyone was devastated and the farm was in jeopardy. Thankfully, we were able to keep the place that felt more like a home than my own house did. I never dreamt that one day I would be able to call that place my home. March of 2017 changed all of that. A man that I'd only met a handful of times became our neighbor. I remember the first time he came up to the construction site that was our soon-to-be house. As he climbed out of his truck, Mr. Vance spoke to my dad and then to me. He asked my name and said that he knew it, just didn't recognize me with my glasses on. He then said, "You won't have to tell me again. I got it now." His kind eyes gleamed at me, revealing his many years of knowledge and hard work. As he got back into his truck and pulled out of our driveway, I looked up at my dad and said, "I like Mr. Vance." He always replied to this, "I do too." The longer we were around Mr. Vance, the longer his visits got and stories grew. One day, a week before Christmas, he came inside. He spoke to my dad for a minute and then to me. He called me his granddaughter as I hugged him and started to give him his Christmas presents: a wallet, a pocket knife, and a cup that had a cow and his name, Grandpa Vance, on it. Seeing this, tears rolled down his dark skin. After we had finished with the presents, we started talking. It was the same night that he told us about his finger. Ever since we had first met him, I had wondered what happened to his pointer finger because it wasn't there. He told us about a mill that used to be where our house is now. Whenever he was a kid, one of the workers had told him and his friends to stay away from it. They went anyway. He told us that when he was 9 years old, he and his friends were playing a game. Stick your finger in the mill and pull it out before the gear came around. I lost, he explained, showing us the nub where his finger had once been. His stories always entertained us or taught us something, but the majority of the time, they did both. He never failed to have a way to help or a piece of much-needed advice, and we always knew that whenever we had a question about anything, agriculture-related or not, we could count on him. There was one more story that night, a week before Christmas, one that we weren't as happy to hear. We had found out that there was a high chance of cancer in Mr. Vance's pancreas, and after several weeks went by, the suspicion was confirmed. The news was devastating to me and my family, but it made us value and appreciate our time with him even more than we already did, which we thought was impossible. Looking back now, almost 2 years after Mr. Vance has passed away, I know that I will forever be grateful for having such an amazing mentor, friend, and grandpa who meant so much more to me than blood ever will. Thank you.